Hey everyone, it's Richard Metal Fan here, bringing you guys an old school album review. And today we're going to be looking into this album's 20th anniversary, and it's from one of my favorite bands ever. And this is, like I said, I don't think really anybody really talks about this one, and it's a pretty good album. And as you can see below the title, today we're going to be looking into House of God by King Diamond. This was released on June 20th, year 2000 through Metal Blade Records. Now, like with all King Diamond albums, this is a concept album, and the concept of this album is, I feel like it talks about like anti-religion. I feel like the King talks about his own personal beliefs through this concept, which is basically about horror and mystery, which is the best concept at this point. And I feel like the moral of this this story or concept is about how religion deceits and sort of like how false it actually is. It's kind of like similar to the concept of like the eye. Right, but I personally think that this concept sort of like displays sort of like how love deceits people just as pretty much as well as religion. And just musically on this album, it's definitely really up there with like the classics like Abigail and them and stuff. And yeah, just one thing to know is just King Diamond, just like I said, could do no wrong. He pretty much still has the exact same voice. I mean, this is the year 2000, even back in like the 80s till the year 2000 when this came out, like he definitely still has that same voice. The guitar work, I mean, Andy LaRocque can do no wrong, and actually Glenn Drover, who would later go on to be in Megadeth and stuff, was on this album, which I just didn't even know when I first heard this. The bass playing is definitely audible. Like, I just love how the bass complements the guitars. Like, they have like that kind of like galloping like riff, almost kind of like similar to like Iron Maiden and stuff. And drumming wise, John Hubert's drumming is pretty great. So yeah, without further ado, let's dive into this album track by track. Now, starting things off is Upon the Cross, and I just love it. It's a pretty good way to start off the album. It's like a minute and a half or so. And I feel like the more of this album is just foreshadowed here. And then we go into The Trees Have Eyes, which kind of reminds me of something from like some of their previous albums, the song Dressed in White, which, like I mentioned before, like the bass kind of has that similar maidenish bass lines, that galloping. But of course, when King Diamond kicks in with the vocals, this isn't no Iron Maiden or any band for that matter. It's just a kick-ass song all the way through. And I feel like the King has a really great performance on here. It's sort of like incredible vocals that flow damn well with this album, and it's just a great song overall. Follow the Wolf, which, I mean, after the last song, I feel like it kind of like goes into, in my opinion, the weakest point on here. Now, don't get me wrong, this isn't a bad song by any means, but I just don't think it's like up there with all the other songs. It starts off with a very slow acoustic guitar, and then it follows by some sweet falsettos, and then bang, it's sort of like the drums and heavy distortion kicks in. Starts off pretty kick-ass, but I just think it just fades and just an average King Diamond song. But for some reason, many fans seem to absolutely love that song, but that's just me. I don't think it just lives up to all the other songs on here. Moving on to the title track of the album, House of God. So it starts off with some very church organ-like keyboards and sort of like some slow riffs that kick off this song. And just King's vocals are really melodic and pretty much set the mood for this song. Pretty much one of the best like kind of like ballads that King Diamond has done. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like the song Melissa from his other band, Merciful Fate. Though it's not like up there with that. Black Devil, which the riff on this song is just kicks so much ass. Like, I feel like it's pretty much up there with like The Trees Have Eyes. Like, the riffs and the rhythms are just incredible over here, and just I really love the drums on here, and just this one is just really a killer song. The Pact, which has some really great riffs, and another one of my favorite songs on the album, and I just love some killer bass lines and some really great upbeat riffs throughout this entire album. Goodbye, which is sort of like we're near like the halfway point of the album. It's pretty much a soft tune in here, which I feel like lyrically, I feel like it's dedicated to anyone that has been hurt or deceived by love. And this song just feels very majestic, and it just has just nothing but keyboards and just some vocals that are kind of like sung and very sad like. Just a Shadow, which, wow, just I love like the riffs on here. It's just very gallopy, and it's just out of nowhere. It just makes it just powerful and the verses and even the chorus is just like the whole song itself is just amazing. It's just wonderfully well done, just leaving this track just like pretty much right in your head. It's just a very powerful song. Then we go into Help, which just just even by the title, it's just all about just chaos and just insanity. And I just feel like King just sounds like it as if somebody is beating him to death here, and it's just fucking insane. And it just adds to just like the chaos and sort of like the mad mood that this tune was meant to deliver. It's just very choppy with sort of like the same riffs and repeating throughout the song, but I just think it just adds the song's to sanity, which I just love. Help, I'm bleeding now, which that just song is just rules. Passage to Hell, which is just a short bridge tune that leads up into the next song on here. I mean, the track is just built up with intensity, which goes into the next song, Catacomb, which is just nothing really terrible happens here as far as like the whole story or the concept goes. And this song is pretty steady pace with sort of like melodic and catchy riffs throughout the first half of the song, and the second half of pretty much picks up more, and just I feel like this tune is no more than average compared to the rest of the album, but I just think it's an alright song. And then we go into This Place Is Terrible, which is the most insane, wicked, and chaos tune, similar to Help a little bit. It just has a fast, steady pace and just leads up to like the album epic, which is pretty much what is on any King Diamond album. This song is definitely the best album closer, especially for an album such as this one. I had it upside down. Just the lyrics are just deep, and I love how it just like talks about his views on religion, and just like towards the end of the song, you just hear just like the mental pain and insanity that sort of like the main character is going through. It may not be like the fastest song on here, but it's just the most insane as well. And then it closes with a short little instrumental called Peace of Mind, which is just a nice little classical tune just performed by the great Andy LaRocque. And yeah, I just think it's pretty much a good song to end this album. Now overall, House of God by King Diamond, another classic album. So if I had to give this album a score, I'm probably going to give this probably a solid 9 or a 9.5 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review of House of God by King Diamond, guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the album, and I'll see you all in the next video. And as always, keep it metal.